Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. Today I'm sharing with you day 3 of hashtag Art Journal Habit 2019. This is a month-long prompt-driven challenge where I'll be making a art journal page and a video every single day. So see you here again tomorrow. So for day 3, the prompt was duty. And I didn't really have an idea for that. So I went looking for a quote because that's a good thing to do if you have a one word prompt like that. You don't know what to do about it. Just, search on the internet for a quote. And I found this quote and it spoke to me. It, like, for my personal um, place that I'm at right now, situations that I'm in, this quote is exactly what I needed to hear. And so I wanted to feature it on my page today. This page started out as a yellowish gel print, really not much going on. And on the Art Joy Sharing live stream show, I started the page, that particular show. I started several pages, and I don't have the footage of that because I lost it. So you can just see what I'm starting with. There was some finger painting on there, and then some stencil removal, like while the paint is still wet, put a stencil over it and remove it with a baby wipe, and you get these interesting shapes around the edges. So the red and the turquoise are finger painting and stencil removal, and then the background was yellow. So I knew that I wanted to have a hand on the page holding a heart. That was my idea because sometimes we hold other people's hearts in our hand, and we need to treat them well. We need to listen to what they want instead of thinking about what we want and how we think things should go for big decisions and, things like that. Sometimes if we love someone, we need to pay attention to what they want and what they need and listen, and that is our duty. And that's what this quote is about. So I didn't want to draw a hand. I can if I have to draw a hand. I don't love drawing hands. They're hard for me to draw. They turn out weird. And then I'm not the only one who has that problem. Lots of artists do not enjoy drawing hands. So I remembered I had this stencil from Gina B. Aaron's Designs. Um, these were some new stencil designs that she has. And if she has this one in her Etsy shop, I'll go find it for you and link it in the description box below. But it was a good way to show an open palmed hand that could hold something. And so I stenciled that onto my page in white, and then I left it to dry. And then I have this wooden heart, um, a cutout wooden shape. And I think it's fun to collage on these, and you'll see the reason why at the end when it's all dry, how easy it is to trim it out using a sanding block. So I got some scraps out to use on my page. I'm a collage artist. I love to glue colorful scraps to things. So I pulled some out of the scraps that are on my desk in a little bucket, and I glued them using Liquitex matte gel medium to this wooden heart, making sure that they were stuck down really well, pressing them down with a wet baby wipe just to make sure everything is stuck. Set that aside to dry. And then I knew I wanted to add some of the colors that I put on the heart, like the pink and those type of colors, and plus maybe mirror some of the colors in the background and add some darker contrast colors like some black. So I decided I'd do kind of an abstract collage background. So I'm just tearing and auditioning some of these scraps that are still just laying there to the side of the desk that I'd pulled out to put on the heart because I wanted everything to coordinate together. And the heart ended up being very pinkish colored, and the background didn't have any pink at all, hardly. So I'm doing that, and then I decide, well, okay, the paint is dry. The reason that I stenciled it in white because I thought I could use that white stenciled area to help me draw. And I thought, oh, I'm going to use this fun pen. It's called an Elegant Writer, and when you put water on it, it blooms out and changes color, and I thought it would be fun on this. So I got that one out, and I drew around the hand, drew in the lines, and then I took the water brush and I started to wet the Elegant Writer, but this was not the right application for the Elegant Writer. It made everything muddy, especially around the fingers, at the tips of the fingers. They're too close together. It all ran together, and I didn't enjoy it. I enjoy the look of it, and it didn't really bloom out either. So I think that it needs to be on maybe a more absorbent paper instead of over the top of an acrylic paint. I have never done it over acrylic paint. I assumed it would be the same, but it must need like actual watercolor paper or a mixed media paper to work maybe. And it's been a long time since I did it. So I decided I'd go ahead and add a little bit of color to the hand using a few of the Neocolor 2 crayons, which are a water-soluble pigment in a crayon format. I love these. Love them. Yeah, there's a lot of water-soluble crayons out there, everything from, Lyra ones to Scribble Sticks and Tim Holtz Distress and all these different ones. And even you could think of those ones in the tube. What are they? Faber-Castell makes them. It's not coming to me, but they're in like a lipstick tube. It's kind of the same thing, but I really think that the Neocolors are the best ones. So I love them. So here's what I was talking about, collaging on a shape, a wooden shape. If you do this, you don't have to worry about the edges because you can come back in with a sanding block and just sand off the excess paper and it comes out perfect. It's so nice. That's always something nice about collaging on wood. Of course, it's heavier and thicker, but since my homemade journal is bound by little rings, it doesn't matter how thick things get. As long as, I don't go too crazy, it'll still fit. If you were doing it in an already bound book, the wooden shapes aren't really that good of a choice because they make the pages too thick. So I used a permanent ink pad around the edges just to change the color of the edges to black. And then I also used a brush pen to do the little V area where I couldn't reach with the ink pad. And then thought I still needed to work on the hand. So I brought the stencil back and I'm using an illustration pen, a medium bullet tip pit pen from Faber-Castell, and this is a permanent pen. And I go around and draw in the stencil lines, um, hoping that that will help. Still don't really like it that much. Uh, I struggled. I struggled with it, but it looks fine in the end. So I didn't like that, so I brought the stencil back and went back over it with the white paint again, trying to bring highlights out, just to give it some definition. And that looks a little bit better. And then I think I go around one time more, maybe with a pen, to just kind of clean up some of the lines. I'm feeling better about it now. It was just those tips, those fingertips at the end just didn't look right. As if I already didn't have enough problems with hands. Now I gotta fix stenciled hands. Yeah, they're not my thing. I probably should practice, If you feel uncomfortable doing something, you should practice. And I tell people that, people are like, oh, I wish I could draw like you. Well, you can if you practice. And I should take my own medicine there and practice. I should just spend, you know, hours practicing hands. Just make a whole hand journal or something. By the end of that, I could probably feel comfortable drawing them. There's a process to it. Bleh, I don't like them. So I put my collage papers back on there. I glued down my heart with some tacky glue, some craft glue, instead of using matte medium because I want it to stay on there really well. And then I collage on all these little bits and pieces that I've torn out of the scraps on my desk. I like the way it looks. I think that the hand and the heart are still the focal image, although these all these little bits are kind of distracting. So I don't know. I like them though. I really like the way collage looks. And I like abstract design. So I was happy with that. Um, I realized that I needed to bring out the heart and hand more. So I have these new things to play with. They're water soluble graphite, fat, heavy sticks. It's just graphite in a stick. They're made by Lyra, and I ordered them from Amazon. And they're kind of like a Stabilo pencil, but they're fatter and heavier. And uh, I have them in three different softnesses, and I'm not sure which one this is actually. I just grabbed one. There's something new on my desk. I saw someone else using them, and I thought they looked fun, so I ordered them. They weren't that expensive, and they really are very water reactive with my water brush pen. So fun things. I trimmed the edges, and I need to put my quote on there. But before I do that, I think I need more white. I need more neutral, something else. So I look in my little ring of stencils. This one is from a club. It was the mashup between Mary Beth Shaw and Carolyn Dubie, and it's from Stencil Club, which is a monthly uh, club. You get stencils. You pay for it every month. You get stencils. And I like these little strip ones that I cut them apart from the larger because they're good for filling in or unifying. And I think that's exactly what this does when I add some of that titanium white acrylic paint through the squarish shapes, which are a good contrast to the heart shape. Um, I get something interesting and everything looks more put together. And so I also add some splatters, some white splatters with my Posca pen because, you got to use your white Posca pen. And then I use my brother P Touch to print out the quote. The first duty of love is to listen. This is a quote from Paul Tillich. I don't know who that is, but they're credited for the quote. So printing it out on the tape, I can stick it on there. It's, the easier than maybe handwriting it. My handwriting is meh. So that's what I did to finish this page. I hope you enjoyed day 3. Come back for day 4 tomorrow. And remember to give this a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or a question below. I'll answer you. And subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification bells. That's important. And, share this if you want to. Make yourself a hashtag art journal habit. Pinterest board or something to keep track of all these if you want to. And hey, join us doing an art journal page each day if you'd like to. You can post them in the Art Joy Sharing group. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye bye.